Warm welcome, viewers on the other side of the screen. This is Shivik Verma, your study spectre tutor, welcoming you all. So, today, this is crystal clear that we are going to discuss the part 3 of the same IIT BHU solid mechanics question that is basically highlighting the Avenger series. So, in this particular part, we will see the part number 3 of the same question. And this particular part of the same question says, when the hammer is then called back by the captain after hitting Thanos, segment AB will be restored elastically, but segment BC will follow the path line FZ, as you can see in the particular stress versus strain graph. Find the recovering strain and the remaining plastic strain, and this particular part of the same question carries the remaining 2 marks. So here I go up with the solution. So in the question, as you all can see, that we had basically given that the hammer handle follows the elastic path, and now what is basically mentioned that the load is completely being removed. So if the load is completely being removed, then we can say that there is some kind of deformation that is going to be the permanent type, that is permanent plastic strain, and at the same time some amount of strain will be recovered, that is called as a recovering strain. So we are asked to find two strains, recovering strain and the remaining plastic strain. So first of all, let's focus on the graph to know what actually recovering strain means. As the name itself suggests, recovering strain मतलब कि जो recover हो जाए. So recovering strain is nothing but the strain that is basically being recovered after the loading from the particular hammer has been removed. So as in the question, the hammer is called back by the captain, so loading has removed. So if loading has removed, then some amount of deformation will permanently arise in the hammer, that is basically in the hammer handle, and remaining will be recovered in the form of the elastic strain. So you can see this particular graph. So like question में mentioned है कि this is basically following the path FG. So FG path follow कर रहा है. Actually it should follow this particular path, but it is following this particular path FG, means this much amount of strain has been recovered. So this is basically referred to as a elastic strain recovery. So there is a particular term for this. This is called as elastic strain recovery. So you can see that like we are having this markings on at an interval of 0.01. So this is 0.01, this is 0.02, and this is 0.03, and the point G somewhat lies between 0.02 into and 0.03. Although it is not bit clear here, but जो actual graph है आप उसमें देख सकते हो कि जो point G है that is basically lying at the midpoint of 0.02 and 0.03. So that particular coordinate corresponding to G can be calculated as G is basically equals to 0.02 plus 0.03. Since it is the midpoint, so it is the halfway between, that is the arithmetic mean. So it is 0.05 divided by 2. So it is simply equals to 0.025, this value. So this is 0.025. So the strain corresponding to the point G is basically 0.025, and I have mentioned it also here. So the elastic strain recovery, so this much amount of strain has been recovered. So recovering strain, that is simply equals to, so recovering strain, that is basically equals to this region. Let's call this particular point as E. So this GE is called as the recovering strain, that is basically the elastic strain. So that is simply equals to what? That is equal to 0.03 minus this point. So 0.03 minus 0.025. So this particular value actually comes out to be 0.005. So 0.005, this much amount of strain has been recovered after the hammer is called back by the Captain America. And now we have to calculate, secondly we are asked to calculate the permanent elastic strain that is basically being getting developed. So we can say plastic strain which is remaining. Okay, so that is basically asked. Second thing that is asked in the same part is this one, elastic strain that is remain, a permanent plastic strain that is basically been remaining. So this much strain has been recovered. So what is the actual strain that is arising in the hammer is this one. So we can say that this much strain is basically arising in the hammer, and this is referred to as the permanent set or permanent strain, and this is basically the permanent plastic strain. और यही हमारा रिमेनिंग प्लास्टिक स्ट्रेन है. सो दिस इज बेसिकली इक्वल्स टू हाउ मच. सो दिस कोऑर्डिनेट g is basically 0.0025. So 0 to 0.0025. So remaining plastic strain is basically 0.025. So this much amount of strain is basically been remaining, and this much amount of strain has been recovered because some part of the hammer deforms elastically, and as soon as the loading is removed, the particular hammer handle follows the part FG, and G is not lying here, it is lying somewhat here. So it is basically been deviating. So this much strain has been recovered in the form of the elastic strain, and that is basically 0.03 minus 0.025. Thus it is equal to 0.005. So hope this particular problem part 3 is also clear to you all. Stay tuned for the part number 4, that is the last part of this particular question. And if you haven't subscribed my channel, please subscribe it, please press the bell icon, please comment and share as much as you can, and stay tuned for such amazing and creative videos. Bye bye, thank you.